The entire fight is based off two mechanics, the Dream and Corruption. You have a Corruption bar which when filled up will do different things to your character at different points. At 33 there will be big circles around the edges of the room, don't stand in this. At 66 small pink swirls will spawn around the encounter, don't stand near these. At 100 you become mind controlled, you obviously never want this to happen. Phase 1, when Xavius reaches 95% health, half of the raid will go into the Dream. This puts a sleeping version of you in the real world. You'll exit the Dream after 3 minutes or until the sleeping version takes fatal damage. This happens again at 60% health. Once you enter the Dream, use all your cooldowns because once you come out of the Dream, your character's cooldowns, health, and mana will be how they were before you went in. Hero or Bloodless debuff doesn't reset through this. All the corruption gained while in the Dream is erased once you come out. Darkened Soul is the taunt swap at debuff. Swap after 3 to 4 stacks, then the debuff must be dispelled by a healer in the Dream. It does heavy 25-yard AoE damage, so the tank wanting the dispelled should run away from the raid, and then they call for it. The dispeller gets 25 corruption. Lurking terrors spawn which can't be damaged. They fixate a random player. DPS inside the Dream should intercept these. They will gain corruption. A corruption horror will spawn. Tanks inside the Dream should pick this up. It needs to die ASAP. Also throughout the fight, 2 players will get targeted by nightmare blades. Both players should run out of the group to one side. Phase 2, ads will spawn on the outside of the room moving towards Xavius. These must be killed before they reach him or high AoE damage will occur. Once they die, they leave behind big puddles which people in the Dream must soak. Every 30 seconds a player gets targeted with Corruption Meteor. Stand on the group with this because damage is split. On Heroic, 2 players will be bonded together. Run within 3 yards of each other to dispel it. Darkened Soul turns into Blackened Soul. Still swap at 3 to 4 stacks, but once dispelled the tank takes 150% extra damage for 30 seconds. The tank should avoid tanking Xavius with this debuff. A tainted discharge will spawn under the dispelled tank's feet, which must be soaked or an ad will spawn. Once Xavius reaches 30% health, Phase 3 starts. Use Hero or Bloodlust here. Tentacles will spawn around the room that targets players raising their corruption. Don't focus down all the tentacles since there will be too many. Focus down Xavius while cleaving tentacles close to melee. Abilities like Nightmare Blades, Corruption Meteor, Blackened Soul still happen. Oh, and the Dream mechanic doesn't happen anymore once in this phase, so try spreading out corruption evenly.